Okay, so the tools that you need to change the anode on your water heater. Can you do it without this guy? Yeah, you can. The issue is you only want to take out maybe about a gallon of water, maybe to 2 gallons, because you want the weight to hold down the tank. But then you may need somebody to hold on to the tank while you're using even a longer, this is a 1/2 inch ratchet when you're taking it off. Tightening it's not an issue. I tightened it with this, it's not leaking. You'll also need a 1 1/16. They're all universal, 1 1/16. I was first using this to open the spigot at the bottom to release some of the water. They tell you to have this so that you can, when you're pulling out the old one, you can hold it if you got to cut it. That way you take it out. I didn't need to do that because it was bending, taking it out. You always need the tape for the plumbing. This guy needed it because there was about that much foam, and then the nut was there, so there was about that much foam above the nut, so you had to take this out. I used this to cut out the foam. This guy, within 30 to 45 seconds, it started to unscrew the bolt, or the nut that's holding rather the anode. You just got to be real careful with this. Make sure that you have it on reverse, not tighten, because this thing, well, depending, I can just tell you about this one. This is the DCF 899. This guy has several settings right here. Kind of hard to see. Right there. And right now I have it on a setting from I want to say it's something like 250 to 400 foot-pounds of torque, and that was enough. It'll go all the way up to 1,200 foot-pounds of torque. I think the first one starts at maybe 150, goes up to 250, and then the second one goes, it's kind of in sections. So you got to be real careful with that. Anyway, it's not leaking, it's working. Yeah, I went and turned on some of the showers and stuff, and there was some rust coming out, and that's what I'd been seeing. I'm hoping this takes care of the problem. Otherwise, in another probably 4 or 5, 6, 7 months, the tank's going to start to leak, and I'm just going to have to replace it. Those have a it's a Rheem, I can't remember the model number, Rheem something, bought it at Home Depot. They have 6-year warranty, and pretty much every single one that I bought from there has gone bad before the 6 years. And basically what they do is they give you a card, you take it in, it's leaking, they give you a card, a Home Depot credit card, and then you can either use it then there to buy another one, or the next time this one goes out, I'm just buying one with the stainless steel tank, and I'm just not going to worry about it. I will replace the anode with an aluminum even before I install that one. So all right, so anyway, so that's what you need. Hope this helps out some people. All right, later. Okay, hey, hope everybody's doing well. This video is going to be on replacing the anode on a water heater that I installed, just a little bit more than a year, a couple of months. I installed it 2/23/24, and the reason why I'm installing it, or replacing the anode, and on this one, the anode is right here. Okay, I've since disconnected or turned off the breaker to this. So what they suggest is, watch some videos. You want to drain about 2 gallons of water. You definitely want to, there's a cutoff, I know it's hard to see, but there's a cutoff right behind here. So I'm gonna cut that off. This is the inlet. The blue is usually the inlet. That's the outlet. And then I'll drain some water. Let me come down here. See how easy I can do this. And so I'm going to connect a hose to it and let it. Actually, I can just use a a pail, but I'll use a hose to get it out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my DeWalt. This happens to be a 1 1/16, if I'm not mistaken. 1 1/16 is what you need. But this is a DeWalt DCF899 half-inch impact. That thing is pretty incredible. And then I'm changing this with an aluminum, excuse me, with an aluminum anode that I got at Home Depot, not a sponsor. And the reason why I'm changing it with aluminum is I had spoken to a plumber that we used to hire a lot. My mom and dad, Charlie's Plumbing from Edinburgh, and he was helping me do some stuff at a rental house that I have. And we got on the topic of the anode, or me having to change the tanks real soon, and he asked me, he goes, hey, okay, so what do you have? Like, I go, what do you mean? Well, do you have a water softener? So yeah. He goes, okay, you should change it with an aluminum one, because the aluminum ones, you know, the water softener, which is right there, does release some salt, and the aluminum will handle that a lot better and stuff. So here I am now. I have started to notice a little bit of rust coming out of the hot water upstairs in the shower. So I'll find out right now how bad the anode is in less than a 2, 23, 24, and we're 11, I don't know, 17, 25. So all right, it's going to be real hard for me to have the camera on and taking that anode out and stuff. So I'll try and video, after I've got it loose and stuff. Now the only issue I'm going to have is if you look at the space from up there to the ceiling, I am going to have to bend the anode. And so they do come with some, this one definitely, I don't know if y'all can see, but here you can actually bend it there and bend it right there. So I'll see how this goes, and they suggest to replace these every 2 to 5 years. So and here the water is really hard here where we live, hence the water softener. So all right, I'll stop here, and then I'll be back. All right, later. Okay, so what I've done is I've drained probably what I think about a gallon of water. I had to put a hose on it. I did shut the valve back there. It was a little hard to start. Had to get some pliers, but once it started. This guy, that's where the anode is. You pull that off, and then I kind of went around this with an X-Acto knife or a utility knife, and now I just got to pull off this this insulation here to expose. So I'll do this as long as I can. Excuse me. So get this off of here. It's pretty deep in there. Alright, I'll come back when I have it totally cleaned. See you in a bit. Alright, so, man, this is really deep in there. It's, let me put the screwdriver. That's how deep it is in there. So I have taken out all that. Now you definitely want to, if you have a vacuum or something, I happen to have a whole house vacuum system, and I'm gonna, I'm right next to the garage where the system is, and I'm gonna bring the hose and suck out all the loose foam that's there, because I don't want that foam to fall inside, because if that goes in and then gets behind some hot water valve in the shower or in the sink or something like that, and then you're going to have issues there. So I'm definitely gonna before I even attempt to try and take it out, I'm going to take the socket, make sure the socket fits through here all the way down, and if I have to shave off some more of the insulation, I will. And then I don't know if I might spray some insulation in here. Possibility, who knows? But let me go in there and you can see where it's way down in there. It's kind of that dark. I know it's kind of hard to see, I don't have a light, but it's way down in there. All right, see if I can. So there it is. All right, I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so there it is. I do have a whole house vacuum system, but you definitely don't want any of the foam stuff falling inside. Might there be some foam when I start to use my impact hammer? Yeah, there might be, but all right, so that's the next thing I'm going to do. I'll be back in a little bit. So they're recommending every 2 to 5 years, man. I think if you have a water softener, it's got to be at least every year. But look at that. There is nothing. There should be something around this, probably about a 1/2 inch in diameter, and now it's just the rod. It's just the rod. So, wow, that's crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm put some I think it's Teflon tape. You put about 6 or 7 windings around there, and then you tighten it. The impact, you got to have an impact. It took maybe about 30 to 45 seconds, and then it started to come undone. But oh man, this is crazy. And we, like I said earlier, we started seeing some like rust spots, or not rust spots, but kind of like the water was looking a little rusty, the hot water. And I told my wife, I go, man, that's kind of bizarre. And I started noticing that about a month ago. So, all right, there you have it. You definitely got to change this. We live in a hard water area, lower Rio Grande Valley, Michigan, Mission, Texas. And plus we have a water softener, so that probably advanced the dissolving of whatever it is that they put on here. So, okay, I'm going to see about trying to get the other one in there, and hopefully I can get it in there without hitting any of the elements, because I'm going to have to bend it a little bit. Okay, see you in a bit. Right, so I took it out, and obviously it was easy to take out, but notice the one on the left it's only been in there, God, a year and what, that's March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. You're talking a year and 9 months. And again, we do have a water softener, and so that had a lot to do with taking off I don't even know what it was made out of, to be honest with you. I don't know what, I doubt that it was aluminum. The one on the right, that's about how thick the coating should be. So yeah, it's pretty impressive how, water is very corrosive, and then you add a little bit of salt to it and it becomes even worse. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to start putting that sucker back on in just a bit. So, all right. Amazing. So like I was saying before, I think here in this area, since we do have a lot of hard water, I want to say every year to a year and a half, you need to change the anode so that your water heater doesn't go out. Either that, or you pay the $1,200 to $1,500 for the water heaters where the tank is made out of stainless steel. Problem is, people don't want to pay that much. This is a conversation I was having with Charlie from Charlie's Plumbing. His son Andrew. Charlie has passed away. Real nice guy, Andrew too. And he told me, he says, Hector, if you don't want to have issues, buy the $1,500 tank. He says they make some out of plastic, and and they'll never go bad on you. Yeah, the rod, you're gonna have to change the rod, but the tank's not gonna go bad on you. And you may have to change the elements, but the tank will last you, you know, forever. But people don't want to pay $1,500 plus his fee, which is like $250. So you're looking at $1,800, $1,900 to get a tank, you know, that will last you almost a lifetime. So, all right, be back in a bit. Okay, so I like to put about 6 or 7 turns of the tape, and I do it counterclockwise because you're tightening it clockwise, and so because the tape is this way, it doesn't come unraveled if you do it clockwise. Although I don't know if I've ever had it come undone if I did it clockwise, but that's just, I learned that from some guy on YouTube. So I'm getting ready to try and get this thing in there, and I'm hoping I don't have any issues getting it in. All right, be back in a bit. All right, so I managed to get it in. Even though I'm kind of high up, I did have to bend the anode. It has sections where you bend it, so I bent it on both sections. It went in, and then as I'm putting it in, I bent it back straight, okay? And I tightened it with my 1/2 inch ratchet here. And now I'm going to turn on the water. Let me see if I can, let me get up there and show you where we're at. So yeah, I vacuumed all this up. Let me get my flashlight going. And so there we are. It's all ready to go. Okay. So I'm going to turn on the water, make sure I don't have any leaks before I close it up. I'm probably going to, I don't know what I'm going to put on top of there just to, you know, keep the heat in. I may go get a a can of spray foam and spray it in there and then cover it up. All right, so let me turn on the water and let's see what will happen. Okay, hey, hope everybody's doing well. This is the next day that I changed the anode. And so what I decided to do, let me just show you that it's not leaking. And so what I decided to do is this stuff right here comes from the pipes that go around here. And so I kind of cut that down and shoved it in there. Okay. And basically that's my insulation, because next year about this time I'm gonna pull that out. I'm gonna pull the anode out and check it, because I think that here in this area where we live, probably every year to year and maybe 2 months we need to check the anode here. If the unit starts to leak, I'm going to buy the Marathon. Rheem has a Marathon water heater that is it's made out of some type of plastic, and it's a limited lifetime warranty. Does not have an anode in it because you don't need it, and basically the only thing that's going to go out on is either the tank's going to go bad on you at some point, or, you know, from the cycling of it, getting real hot or not, whatever, or the what do you call it, the elements that are there will eventually go bad, and it just won't heat up. But this is where I cut that off of there and then trimmed it to fit on there. So anyway, unit's been working. No more rust water coming out from the hot water upstairs in the shower. So who knows how long that's going to last. All right. Okay. Hope everybody, you know, at least someone learned something about it, about anodes. All right. See y'all later.